Welcome to the cult. Now, when I first started the game out, it didn't click with me, and I don't think I was playing anything that would have grasped me more. Sure, I play a lot of things on a day-to-day basis, but roguelikes are always like my favorite of the bunch. The simplicity of just being able to pick one up for a bit and go on about your day, or grind it for 18 hours straight, is what always gets me. And that's one of the few things I want to experience from the genre. But what really is an experience? Especially when it comes down to the cult and to the lamb. I played it for 10 hours straight. I wish I was kidding, but it hooked me like no other game did before. And I play MMOs and fighters, so I'm used to long sessions, but this was different. I wasn't me. Maybe I was under the lamb's control as well, forced to work tirelessly for the better of the cult. Or I just have ADHD or some shit like that, and the second I do something entertaining, I do it for hours. Might be that, to be fair. I adored the whole game, from just going around on crusades and managing the cult to fishing. I can't say what I liked more though, so I might just take them one by one. Crusading, being the main part of the game and the roguelike aspect of it. Loved it. Couldn't have asked for anything better. As a Risk of Rain veteran and an Isaac player, I can give this the seal of approval for spending 5 hours dying constantly because my build was bad, and then killing the boss with a random ass weapon. 10 out of 10, love it, would do it again, every day, every time. The weapon of choice is, as one of my friends would say, based. And even the ones which I didn't like at the start, I ended up using more and more and wanting to play with them over my staple ones. The axe must have been my number one, while the hammer and the claws were my least favorite, especially when it came down to hitting shielded enemies with them. I think it really depends on what cards and curses you have to make them pair like really well. That and getting the rhythm down, especially when it came to those fucking jumpy boys. Fuck. The cult management. What can I even say about it? My cult only ever saw a few sacrifices, mostly due to quests. We were a very peaceful bunch, enjoying our time eating, partying, and working hard, making sure I could keep upgrading everything to make their life easier. We had a farm, toilets, a dedicated poop scooper, and even a pond. We also had a graveyard next to it, and I sure hope it doesn't make the water contaminated, but it wouldn't happen if the graves next to it are empty, that is. This is a joke. The cult does not condone cannibalism, ritualistic murders, nor do we condone sexual relations for the profit of the cult. Or at least we didn't until after we had reached over 100 days in the game. We were starving, okay? But we didn't eat the old and expired. We don't do that. The dice game that I would play with Ratau and his old buddies was fun for the 30 minutes I played it in total, as I never bothered to go past the initial clear, because I'm not that big of a fan of gambling, but I have to go hang out with Grandpa sometimes too, you know? Also, the OST in this game is actual fire. I don't know how RiverBoy did it, but he cooked. I would honestly leave the game open in the background while I was working and listen to the main cult song for hours. I'll have to grab like the vinyl for this at some point. And the blankets, and the beanie, and the pillow, and an Android too. God have mercy on my wallet. Why is all the merch so good? And lest I not forget, the character design. Hell, the whole artistic direction this game went in. The cute blends in perfectly with the morbid, making exactly what the cult wants you to think. That they're cute at the outside, but rotten to the core on the inside. Some cute tactics that they may try can be white chocolate coconut cake, made to order specifically for all of those who believe that their leader is an alien. Anyhow, it's time to get into the realm where real men have fun. Without further ado, I present to you all the greatest thing to have happened in this game, along with any other game that has this said minigame. Fishing. God, I love fishing. If I could just fish for hours, I would. The amount of fishing festivals I held cannot be counted. The amount of fish meals I served them could not be counted. I was just like Dio. If one were to ask me how many times I have fished in any game, I would ask them how many breaths they have eaten in their life. It is infinite. It is pi. Just as it was said in the book of Jordan, chapter 6, verse 9. And so, God said to the prophet Michael, "Ball is life," and the flood waters receded. To that I say, fishing is life. Also, game kinda reminds me somehow of Scribblenauts, and I loved watching videos of that when I was a kid. As for what I didn't enjoy, God, get ready for the fire round of complaints, baby. Because these things made me want to pull my hair out. And I'm a marble statue. Sorry about that. Water break. Fuck those pieces of shit with shields. I hate them with a fiery passion. I used a hammer against them, or I used claws against them, they wouldn't break. Impossible. It took me the whole game to get used to them. And even then I still wasn't. I wish I could just blend them, just like I wanna blend that tiny Yoda. And also, fuck the Toho fireball spewing ass motherfuckers too. And the jumpy boys. And the one that really grinded my gears. The bosses that spewed shit and jumped around. It was double the trouble, double the pain, double the everything, and the amount of times I died to that exact boss can't even be counted. And I get it, I'm bad at games, that's my whole thing. But this shit is over the top. And I'll forever be a hater for them. Just like how I'm a hater for Midas, who stole my gold, made me find him only to do it again, and again, and again. It took me days to find him and beat his ass up. I hate him, I hope he dies in a fucking ditch. Oh, and Sozo? He better die in a ditch too. That motherfucker made me get his old followers on the pretense that I rescued them, only for him to eat them later. But to be fair, he wasn't that bad actually. Like, he could have been worse to be fair. Since I already talked about the things that made me love and hate the game, might as well tell you all about the things that I actually learned to love with time. Not many in contrast, since the game is really good and even the things that I hate didn't diminish the game or the experience in any way. Fuck you, Sozo, once again. The curses, I was never really into them, especially the shield ones, but with time and death to the mobs that kept spewing shit at me, I started liking them a lot. Just like the invulnerability ones, really loved using those, and the triple projectile one specifically. The fleeces were also not a me thing until I unlocked the golden one with the percentile damage increase and the other one with the tarot cards. That one was genuinely so fun to play with that I ended up finishing the whole game with it. Plus, it looked the coolest, so what can I say? The relics are also quite fun to use from the start. I was a big fan of the gambling one that gave me either a silver heart or that healed me, and the lightning bolt one, I think it was. Also, biggest contender for worst relic in the game is the let me make you gigantic one. Get it? Biggest contender for the gigantic one. So fucking funny. It was just as bad as the one in Isaac, to be honest, and I've never seen a use for it anyway in any game. Like, fuck that shit. Why would I want to be gigantic, bro? It only slows me down. Makes my hitbox bigger. You know, fuck that shit. To finish this, sacrificing followers. I was highly against it. I was adamant I wouldn't do it. I wanted them all to live. I wanted all of them to be happy, but when I was desperate, I did it. I failed them. It was low HP ones at first, but they didn't help. It was a waste. Soon after, I realized I can easily grind the XP for them, thus getting high level followers fast, which meant that now I had insurance of 4+ hearts if I ever die to a boss. My ways changed. I deeply regret my actions, little lambs. I did not want to kill you, but it was for the greater good of the cult, for the greater good of Zam. Well, that's really all I had lined up to talk about. The story wasn't that eye-catching, but it wasn't bad either, and it all blended into quite a beauty of a game, if you ask me. This isn't the type of game to dig into lore, I believe, but even then, I still think there is like a secret wolf follower or something. Anyway, it was overall a lovely experience, and I feel like I'll probably keep playing it whenever there's something new. The Chinese New Year update was also recent, so I did play during that time as well, but that was during recording and there's no reason for me to talk about that. Making Narin the immortal and letting him be the certified poop scooper was the greatest move I ever made. Yeah, This also took longer than it should have, and the only thing I have to say is I blame the robot uprising, and I will keep on spilling oil. Bye.